evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the LATV Game of the Week. I'm Denny Siegel along with Len Venger and Fritz Pollard, and tonight, this is the Game of the Week. This might very well be the Game of the Year. The #1 ranked team in Orange County, the Griffins of Los Alamitos, are going up against the #2 team ranked in Orange County, the Aztecs of Esperanza. We have traveled all the way to Long Beach. This is the home of the Los Alamitos Griffins. We're at Veterans Stadium, and it's kind of a cold and balmy night, definitely football weather. This game is truly a happening. And Len Venger, without question, quite a rivalry.
Oh, this is USC against UCLA. This is Army against Navy. This is one of the great high school rivalries in the country. The winner of this game will win the Sunset League Championship because the winner of this game always does. Now, Los Alamitos has beaten Esperanza and gone on to win CIF championships. Esperanza, for its part, has won the last 3 games that they have played. I asked Coach Barnes before the game to talk about the rivalry and to talk about the fact that Esperanza has won the last 3 games between these two teams and how it influenced his team's preparation for this game.
Well, as far as the preparation, it's the same every year. I mean, we prepare as hard as we can to win this game and let the chips fall where they may. I'm sure they've done the same thing for all these years. The last 3 years, I mean, that's over. This is always, you know, football is always a new season, a new team. So, you know, we ran the table on them for 5 years at one time, you know, and 9 of 11. And so you just keep hanging in there and hoping that you'll get some breaks and get the win back, you know. But every year is a new challenge. I really believe that. It is a great rivalry, and it's a fun game to be in. It's great for our fans and our kids, and not so great for our coaches sometimes.
Coach Barnes said it best. He said this is a great game for the fans and for the players, not so much fun for the coaches. Dennis, both teams come into this game with records of 5-0. This is truly going to be a great game.
There's no question Los Al's going to be ready, but Fritz Pollard, there's no doubt that Esperanza is going to be ready. Not to mention, they're riding a 3-game winning streak against Los Al.
Well, not only that, these two teams have rained on each other's parades for year on top of year on top of year, knocking them out of the top spot many, many times. This year, the Aztecs are very strong on offense. They have a 2-year returning quarterback in Grant Wagner. He was last year's league MVP, and he's approaching nearly 1,000 yards in the air. He has a couple of great receivers, Aschenbrenner, Hall, and also Hill, his go-to guys in the air. On the ground, another great back here coming out of Esperanza in Schuster. He's got 600 yards on the year, and the total ground game nearing 1,000 yards for the Aztecs. It's a 50-50 balanced attack, and the Griffins have been weak against the run. If the Aztecs mix it up and protect their quarterback, there will be a very strong offensive consideration here for the Aztecs. On the defensive side of the ball, it's a young team. They have 6 juniors and 1 sophomore starting tonight. Coach Pendleton has really brought these kids around and made them a solid defensive unit. Earlier tonight, I talked with Coach Meek about this rivalry, and this is a very unique rivalry. It's not one that's based on hate. It's one that's based in respect, and Coach Meek spoke about that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time against each other, and I think that, you know, between the 2 great programs that they are, there has been a mutual respect. 2 great teams playing, you know, and playing hard and clean and fair and you know, and let the chips fall where they fall. You know, I think when 2 great programs get together like this, that's the way it should be.
You know, one thing we don't talk about much in high school sports is the kicking game, and Nathan Fix, the senior here for the Aztecs, has really been an asset to the Aztecs this year. 4 on 4, and if you look at the yardage, 55 and 56 yards already put through the uprights this year, and Dennis, that could be a huge factor if this is a close game.
Well, last year, Esperanza won the game with 7 seconds to go on a 27-yard field goal by Nathan Fix. However, his counterpart on the Los Alamitos Griffins, Mike Hill, he's all poised and ready just in case that same situation would prevail for him. So sit back and relax. This is not a football game, ladies and gentlemen. This is a happening. We'll be right back right after this.
It's the ultimate in savings, the ultimate in selection. It's the ultimate clearance sale going on right now at Toyota of Cerritos. Corollas, Camrys, Avalons, and Sienna minivans. RAV4s, 4Runners, Tacomas, and T100s. This is hundreds and hundreds of brand new 98 Toyotas, brought in especially for this factory-authorized savings event. 605 Freeway, South Street, in the Cerritos Auto Square.
Hi, I'm Susan Egan, and I was lucky enough to play Belle in Disney's Beauty and the Beast on Broadway, as well as provide the voice of Meg in their animated feature, Hercules.
Well, thanks for everything, Herc. It's been a real delight.
Now, I was only able to achieve my goals because I got great training and experience right here in this neighborhood where I grew up. You can, too. Happy till I make you happy too. There are awesome studios and schools here in our community. Schools like the West Coast School of the Arts in Cypress, where you can take classes in singing, dancing, acting, and performing, just like I did. Whether you're looking for a lasting career in the arts, or just looking to have a lot of fun and meet some new friends, talk to your parents today about joining classes at the West Coast School of the Arts or any other local studio. Good luck to you.
It isn't an order or a command. Protocol doesn't require it. The oath of enlistment doesn't refer to it. So why do sailors devote so much time to helping Americans in need? To instituting programs on their behalf? Because when you're in the Navy, you go wherever the battle is.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just moments away from the kickoff of this outstanding football game. The Esperanza Aztecs against the Los Alamitos Griffins. And Len Venger, I got chills up and down my spine.
Well, this is definitely the game of the year. Both teams have gone through their pre-league season. Both won all 5 of their games. And the Griffins, by way of example, have beaten their opponents by an average of 50-17 as the Aztecs come onto the field. 50-17, Danny, that's a lot of offense for the Griffins. On the other side of the football, the Aztecs, as you know, can also score a lot of points.
Well, I think the Aztecs have proven that. They have gone against some outstanding football teams already in the first 5 games of this year. They've done well as well. And both offenses are very, very explosive. Both defenses are very good. They have like a bend but don't break defense situation right now, but they're both going to be tested tonight, Len, with these explosive offenses.
That's absolutely true. And speaking for the Griffins defense, that's really a personality of Coach Barnes' defenses for probably the last 15 years, Dennis. Defenses that bend but don't break, and that at key times seem to get turnovers and turn a football game around. We're almost ready for the kickoff. And one of the teams is going to come out of this game 6-0 and in the driver's seat for the Sunset League Championship.
Back deep for Esperanza. They're going to be receiving from your right to your left. Back deep is number 5, Jared Schuster. Also deep is number 3, Chris Hall. These are the 2 deep men for Esperanza.
Chris Hall is a wide receiver. Jared Schuster is the running back on offense. He's got over 600 yards this year, and he's the guy they'd like to see get this football on the kickoff.
Chris Cluey approaching the ball. It is a high kick. That's Hall. Hall breaks a tackle. Hall is still on his feet. Hall is over the 35-yard line, finally steps out of bounds, but a nice return by Chris Hall. It'll be first down and 10 for the Aztecs.
Special teams have given the Griffins a problem all year long, no exception, as the Aztecs start out with very good field position out at about the 35, we'll call it the 35-yard line to start this drive. And Denny, that's plagued the Los Alamitos Griffins this year up to this point.
Grant Wagner, the quarterback, a senior. We saw him last year, and an outstanding player he is, handing off to Schuster. Schuster getting over the 50-yard line into Los Alamitos territory, and already Esperanza coming out firing.
Just like that, about an 18-yard gain for Jared Schuster. As I said a moment ago, he's got 604 yards in rushing in only 5 games, and he's got 7 touchdowns. He's got an 8.1 average. He more than doubled that on the first run from scrimmage for the Aztecs.
Ball's on the 47-yard line. Schuster and Cluett, the running backs. And that's Cluett. Cluett going into the center of the line over the 45-yard line down to the 43, the tackle made by Bernard Riley.
Cluett, the wing back. Schuster is the tailback in that formation. They are the only 2 back in the backfield. They gave it to the inside man that time, and he was Cluett, and he was only able, well, actually, he made about 4 yards then, more than I thought. Looked like not much, but he got 4.
Second down. Hill, the man in motion. There's a flag on the play. It's a pass to Hill. Hill has more than enough for the first down, brought down by Hartley, but there is a flag.
I think that football, Danny, was that caught by number 9? Is that Ashebrainer?
Exactly right. That is Ashebrainer.
He's that tight end, and he's real tough. But we do have a penalty, and it looks like the Aztecs are the ones moving back, so they're expecting it to be against them.
We haven't seen the actual signal, but it is motion. Motion against the Aztecs. So the ball has been moved back to the 48-yard line of Los Al. It'll now be second down and 11. That's Schuster. And Schuster spurting out of the pack, and Schuster finally being brought down by Trevor Hartley, but not before he has more than enough for the first down.
Oh, Jared Schuster showed why he is a good running back, namely that he doesn't give up. It looked like he was going to be brought down after a very short game. All of a sudden, he spurted out of the pile. You see Jared Schuster there along with Grant Wagner, Ryan Cluett, Ryan Murray, Chris Hall, Nick Vicencia, and Aaron Hill, and Ashebrainer, Nursel Road, Lewis, Steinbacher, Renteria, and Maris making up that offense for the Aztecs.
Wagner back to pass. Wagner is hit. He is hit. That's Nick Fitzgerald.
And he fumbled the ball. It was knocked out of his hands, and it was a fumble, but it was recovered by the Aztecs, but it did cost him a lot of yardage as they were taken back 7 or 8 yards on that play. Denny, I missed who knocked the ball out of his hands there, but Aztecs able to keep possession of the football and to keep their drive alive.
Los Alamitos blitzing on that last play, and their blitz really showed the fruits of their labor. So far, Schuster, 2 rushes for 31 yards. Schuster again, and Schuster is just nailed at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he grabs a yard gain. That's Gary Salgado making the tackle along with Nick Fitzgerald. No, excuse me, Bernard Riley.
And that Los Al defense of Mark Patung, Sagan Atuatasi, Riley, Ball, Fitzgerald, Abrams, and Salgado at the other defensive end position.
I don't think Abrams is in there.
Well, they called, yes, you're right. You know what? They called Abrams, and I think he might be out with an injury, Dan.
Third down, 16 yards to go, 8 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first quarter. No score as Wagner back to pass, looking, and finding his receiver. No, it's incomplete. Incomplete.
Great job by Greg Castillo. Castillo all over him. I thought that actually might have been completed, but the referees had a good look, saw the ball. Let's check the play. Wagner back. Deep throw, just went back, threw it deep. Let's check it right there. Oh, good job. Hard to tell who's got the football. They're fighting for it. Ball probably hit the ground there. Good job on defense by defensive back Greg Castillo.
Bob Sparks back to punt, standing on his own 44-yard line for Esperanza. Adolph Keys for Los Al standing on his 10. Waiting for the ball, makes a fair catch at the 16-yard line. So Los Alamitos will have their first possession with 8 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first quarter, no score.
Pretty good drive by the Aztecs to start the game, but eventually the drive stalled because of the fumble in the backfield, and the Griffins take over after the punt at their 15-yard line. Not very good field position for the Griffins as they start on offense.
Los Alamitos with Doby in the backfield, Ryan Hansen, the quarterback, and that's Doby, and Doby is met behind the line of scrimmage, and that charge was by Darren Olson.
Good penetration by the defensive line there of the Aztecs. They smelled out that little delay. Griffins had 3 wide. That's trips over on the left side. Looked like it might be a pass. A little delayed handoff to Josiah Doby, and no place to go, and in fact lost about 3 yards.
2nd down and 3.
Coach Meeks doing a little coaching there.
Rataco's the man in motion, and that's Howery, and Howery eludes a tackler at the 10-yard line. Howery still on his feet as he's over the 20 and finally pushed down on the 20 at the 26-yard line. Mastropalo making the tackle.
This could be very close. Let's see if they measure what they decide here. Griffins on offense with Ryan Hansen, Paul Garul, Austin Guinness. We have Keenan Howery, Rataco, Keys, and Mobley, along with Matt Lopez, Mike White, Greg Rodriguez, and Chad Isaacson on the offensive line.
Bringing in the chains, trying to figure out if Keenan Howery, Mr. Excitement, has wound up with enough yardage for the first down. 7:44 left in the first quarter. It's a first down for the Griffins. So Hansen ties up with Keenan Howery. Howery eluding a tackler right after he made the reception at the 10-yard line and scampers for enough yardage, just barely making the first down.
All he did was just bend down. The tackler ended up going right over him. Keenan Howery having a sensational year so far. He's got 10 touchdowns and 26 receptions. He's averaging 22.4 yards on every reception. Very impressive. It's like a little audible, Dan.
And that's Doby. Doby breaks into the secondary. Doby having a little bit of running room, finally being tripped up over the 35-yard line by Mike Harrison of the Aztecs.
Big tackle by Mike Harrison. Doby could still be running if Harrison didn't bring him down, because there was only one other Aztec back there, and he was being blocked. Esperanza defense, Fry, Pendleton, Olson, Gutierrez, Woods, Dan, and Webb. Aaron Hill, Parrish, Harrison, and Master Paolo back there in the defensive backfield.
Doby. Doby, it looks like the same play, and Doby eludes tacklers as he gets into the secondary of the Aztecs, brought down right around the 50-yard line. Mike Harrison again making the tackle.
Good job by that Griffin offensive line. Rodriguez, Isaacson, White, Mobley, and Lopez opening up some good holes here for Josiah Doby early in this football game.
Well, kind of an exciting, even though there's no score so far. So far, Doby has 3 carries for 19 yards. Ball is on the 50. And it's Doby again. Doby again in the secondary. Doby has one man to beat, and he is finally brought down by Mike Harrison again. So right now, this is the Josiah Doby, Mike Harrison show.
And Harrison is the one on the defense, and he's the one bringing him down to keep it from being a touchdown. It's a little delay handoff again, right down the pipe, just on the left side. Oh, what a great move by Doby to go to the outside. Good tackle there by Harrison again to keep this one from going possibly for a touchdown. Griffins have the ball all the way down to the 22-yard line.
A 28-yard gain by Doby, and so far 4 carries for 47 yards. Louis Guzman doing the stats. Gilbert Gonzalez is the spotter. I'm Denny Siegel along with Len Venger and Fritz Pollard, and Los Alamitos driving. It's a quick look-in pass and a complete pass to Austin Guinness. Making the tackle is Matt Parrish.
About a 6-yard gain there. By the way, Josiah Adobe's got 582 yards coming into this game. He's averaging 7.7 yards, and he's got 11 touchdowns, and he's off to even a better average yards per carry so far in this game.
Ball is on the 15-yard line. Los Alamitos driving, and there's Doby. Doby this time hits a block wall and squirts for a 2-yard gain.
Denny, you know, you talk about great runs, and a lot of times people will say a long run is a great one. But every once in a while, you'll get 2 or 3 yards, and it's a great run. And you just saw it right there with Josiah Adobe. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, looked like it wouldn't be any gain. Instead, he busted through, made 2 or 3 yards, and the Griffins, instead of 3rd and 5 or 6, only have about 3rd and 1.
As the clock continues to wind down, 5 minutes and 45 seconds, no score, and there's a timeout on the field. Wow. Los Alamitos calls timeout. They're at a 3rd and 1. This, as you see, the Esperanza Brain Trust.
Coaches want to talk it over here. Los Alamitos Griffin football brought to you by Lou Webb Automotive Group. Been sponsoring our games, Denny, for a long, long time, Lou Webb.
Great supporter of the LATV Game of the Week, and very, very pleased to have him aboard. 5:44 left in the first quarter, no score, and there, yeah, we're up there, way up high at Veterans Stadium, and it is quite a climb. I don't want to talk about it.
How many times do we stop on the way up? A few years ago, Denny, we got up with no stops, then 1 stop, and I think we're up to two rest stops on the way up here.
I hate to think what the future is going to bring for you and I. Hanson so far, 2 for 2 for 17 yards. 1 completion to Howry, 1 completion to Guinness. 3rd down and 1 yard to go. Big play as this is still in the opening quarter. Doby looks like he might be denied that 1st down, Len.
I think he's short. I agree with you. It looked to me like he's short. The Aztecs real happy there. And it's going to be 4th down and a yard, and they're bringing in some more beef here. As you see, some big guys coming in for the Aztecs, 70, 71, and 75. That's Steinbacher and Renteria and Nab, and the Griffins are going for it, Denny.
This is a big play. Hanson barking it out, and that's Doby going straight ahead, and Doby has enough for the 1st down. So the Los Alamitos offensive line just wound up taking it to the Aztecs.
The offensive line and the defensive line, big collision. The offensive line won the battle. 1st down for the Griffins and Josiah Doby.
We'll just kind of rest a little bit between plays.
Wow, that was about 1,200 pounds hitting 1,200 pounds.
Oh my! Clock continues to run. 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in this first quarter. Los Al, 1st down and goal. Hanson back to pass. Hanson looking. It hits the fingertips.
That was Nathan Fix. Fix is the kicker. He's also a wide receiver. He's also a cornerback. And on that play, Hanson threw the ball into the end zone. Ryan Hanson trying for all of it here on 1st down. He gets a big rush, gets rid of the football, and Fix is right there.
And Godfrey just couldn't hold on to it.
I think Fix might have gotten his arms on Godfrey's arms, and that kept him from making the catch. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
Hanson doing a lot of talking out of there. Looks like he's doing a little bit of checking off. Blasi Retaco, the man in motion, and it's Hanson, and there's flags all over the place. They have blown this play dead.
See if we have a delay a game or do we have motion. Which is it going to be? It's delay a game. Took a little too long. He checked off. He was trying to audibilize, come up with something different, and took a little too much time. And the Griffins now are going to have a 2nd and goal from the 15-yard line. This drive started on the Griffin 15-yard line. They moved it all the way downfield, got it to the 10. Now driven back to the 15-yard line.
2nd down and goal. Doby was just able to get through the line of scrimmage and down to the 12-yard line. Now Los Alamitos with a 3rd down and goal.
Somebody just able to trip him up in there, and that brought him down after only a 2-yard gain. Griffins are now going to have one shot at the end zone here from the 13-yard line. One of the weapons they do have is they've got Austin Guinness, who is very, very tall, Denny, and at 6'5", they may try something to his side all the way deep in the end zone.
Dobie, 8 rushes for 53 yards so far in this game, and that is a completion to Howry, and Howry is stopped at the, we're going to call it the 2-yard line, Len?
And the Griffins bringing in all that poundage. Watch Howry here as he makes the catch on the slant, and look how he reaches for the end zone, but his knee fell a little quickly. Good call by the referees. Ball at the 1.5, 4th down, and then they're going to go for it.
3 minutes, 25 seconds left in the first quarter. Los Alamitos, 4th down, and let's call it a long 1 yard. Howry is the man in motion. Dobie going straight ahead, and Dobie is denied the touchdown. Josiah Dobie is stopped at just short of the line, short of the goal line, so the Aztecs will take over. Jason McNabb wound up making the tackle on Dobie.
Danny, you called it. It was 1.5. You called it a long yard. Well, he made a long yard, but it was 1.5. As a result, he missed by just a couple of inches. He's going to make a big dive here. There he goes, up and over, and he is met head-on. Perfect defensive play, and the ball, as a result, on about, I don't know, the 1-foot line. And the Aztecs have held. The Griffins did not take the field goal. As a result, the Aztecs take over on downs.
1st down and 10 on the 1-foot line as Wagner throws up. Looks like a real difficult pass for Aaron Hill to wind up catching.
Adolph Keys on the coverage there did an excellent job on Aaron Hill, kept him from catching the football. And I'll tell you, that was one-on-one coverage out there. And had Adolph Keys not done a really terrific job, that could have gone for 99.5.
So far, though, Wagner has attempted 2 passes and has yet to hook up with one of his receivers, as we have 3 minutes and 6 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And Len, we were talking about these defenses, the bend and don't break defenses, and they surely have shown us exactly that so far in this football game. Schuster turning the corner. Schuster have a little bit of daylight, and he's finally brought down by Trevor Hartley, but not before he gained a ton of yardage.
Oh, man, did they get out of trouble there. It was Schuster's speed on the sweep. That is what makes this play. He'll outrun the linebacker, and that is the difference. He gets by actually the defensive back Merriweather. He beats Merriweather, and after that got a couple of good blocks, and he is gone, and it looked like he might go even farther, but finally brought down from behind by Hartley. But they are out of trouble and all the way out to the 40.
A 38-yard gain by Schuster, and so far he has 4 rushes for 70 yards.
Wow.
Little play action. Wagner still with the ball. Wagner, having plenty of time, makes a completion.
Good throw, and I'll tell you, whoever he threw it to is huge. Denny, could you see who the receiver was there?
That's Ashebrainer.
Oh, he is a big kid.
He's 6'6", 230 pounds. Oh, he is a very sizable young man. So right now, the ball is just shy of the 50-yard stripe.
Just like that, 49 yards managed in just a couple of plays.
These two Titans just clashing. Wagner calling out the signals. Schuster, and Schuster is met at the line of scrimmage by Paul Publico.
You know, Dan, it's some strange things happen in football games. You'll recall that Keenan Howry caught that slant in around the 5-yard line, didn't fall down. As a result, he was able to get all the way down to the 1. Well, you know what? Had he fallen down at the 5-yard line, had it been 4th down, the Griffins certainly would have tried the field goal. Probably had a pretty easy shot there at 3 points. Instead, Howry, by fighting so hard, got down to the 1, and then the Griffins went for it and missed.
And 1:32 left in the first quarter. Still no score. Wagner back to pass. Wagner looking for that was Aaron Hill. Goes off his fingertips.
And I'll tell you, he was thinking about Adolph Keys there. He had one eye on the football and the other one on Adolph Keys, figuring he was going to get hit really hard. And frankly, then he kind of lost interest. What do they call those? Short arms, I think.
Oh, my. So far, Wagner 1 of 4 for only 10 yards, and he's in a passing down right now with 3rd down and 10. And ball just nesting on the 50-yard line. Wagner with a little play action. Finding Aaron Hill. Finding Aaron Hill, and that is more than enough for the 1st down.
And I'll tell you what made that play was the excellent play action. You'll see it right here. Watch the play action, which is going to free some of the Griffins. And now look at the time he's got as a result. As the Griffins were frozen plenty of time, squared his shoulders, good throw to Hill. Actually, pretty good defense on Hill. The throw was perfect. And the Aztecs with a 1st down at the 31-yard line of the Griffins. And they are on a drive.
Wagner with a long count. It's Aaron Hill again. And Hill now is down to the 21-22-yard line. The ball pops loose, but they're going to rule that it was down. On the tackle was Adolph Keys.
Nine-yard gain on that play. It's going to be only 2nd and 1. And we have quite a drive here. See if they measure, Dan. Are they calling it close enough for a measurement?
I think that's exactly what's happening. This is very impressive by Esperanza, and they took the ball virtually on their own goal line. And they have gone all the way to the Los Alamitos 21.
And I'll tell you what they took, Denny. They took the momentum. That's what they took. Griffin's a little bit disheartened by not scoring. Aztecs really pumped up when they held, and they have taken the football and driven it almost 80 yards already. But to get the touchdown, they're going to have to move it 99.5.
As the clock continues to run, as we have 52 seconds left in the first quarter. And so far, the key play in this game, or in this drive, is that 38-yard run by Schuster. Wagner with 2nd and short, putting the ball up, and it falls incomplete.
Dangerous throw there by Wagner. Had he thrown that ball just a little bit shorter, it probably would have been intercepted. Great position there by the Griffin defensive back. I couldn't quite tell who it was, but it was a great job done. And they took a shot at the end zone, which is pretty smart on 2nd down because they still have 2 downs to make under a yard.
Aaron Hill is a big target at 6'2". In fact, Esperanza is a pretty sizable team in its entirety. 3rd down and 1. And that's Schuster. Schuster has a lot of running room. He has the 1st down, and he's all the way down to the 6-yard line. Esperanza just coming at Los Alamitos, and they're down for another 1st down. 1st and goal.
Boy, that offensive line doing an absolutely terrific job for Jared Schuster. He's got 6 carries. Denny, 86 yards in 6 carries. He's going to have nearly 100 yards in the 1st quarter.
Well, we've talked about both of these offensives, how explosive they are, and right now Schuster has the ball again. Schuster gets over the 5-yard line, and he is gang tackled, and that gang tackle was led by Paul Publico, as we have just ended the 1st quarter of football between Esperanza and Los Alamitos. We have no score, and this game is everything what we expected it to possibly be. And let's see a field view of everything. Let's go to our friend Fritz Pollard.
Guys, 6 games into this season, coaches hate to see mistake and stupid penalties. When Ryan Hansen came right before their attempt to get into the end zone, he audibilized to the shifting Aztec defense. He then re-audibilized, didn't get the call straight, had to re-give it to the offense. Before he could snap the ball, too much time had elapsed, and they marched him back. Missed opportunities in this game could be the one thing that'll make either one of these teams lose tonight. Coach Barnes can't be happy with that. They missed an opportunity to score, and you can't do that very often against Esperanza. Let's go back upstairs.
Fritz made a really good point there, and he's absolutely right. And you know what, Denny? The Griffins, having already called one timeout in the first quarter, and when they got down to the 10-yard line, did not want to use the second timeout. And as a result, Hansen tried desperately to get that play off, couldn't do it. That cost him a big 5 yards, as it turns out.
It could conceivably be a score for the Griffins. So far, here's some first quarter statistics. For Los Alamitos, Hansen 3 or 4 for 28 yards. Howry has 2 catches for 21, and Doby 9 rushes, 54 yards. For Esperanza, Schuster 7 carries, 89 yards. Wagner 3 of 7 for 39 yards, and right now it is the Jared Schuster show.
Well, and the show of the offensive line of the Aztecs as well.
And that's Cluett. Cluett getting close to the goal line. He's going to be just a little bit short of the goal line. So far on this drive, Esperanza has gone 99 yards.
That's right. They started on the half-yard line. They got half a yard to go. So they've moved it 99. What a drive this has been.
The defense of Los Alamitos, they have an awful lot to dig in for here. In Esperanza, they smell the pay dirt. And that's Schuster over the top, and Schuster is in for the touchdown. So Esperanza with a startling, beautiful drive as they took over on downs from the Griffins after their drive stalled on the half-yard line, and they have traveled 99 yards and put it in for the score.
And the Esperanza Aztecs draw first blood in the game, and it's in the second quarter. There was no score in the first, but they have opened up here in the first minute of the second quarter with a score. 99-yard drive, as Denny indicated, and Fix in for the extra point, which for him is quite automatic.
And automatic it is. It is good. So with 11:17 left to play in the first half of football, Esperanza 7. The Los Alamitos Griffins will now get the ball again.
Here's that touchdown play. You saw the full house backfield, and right over the top, Schuster easily into the end zone for the touchdown. There wasn't any doubt about it.
Great drive. Great drive by the Aztecs. Now Los Alamitos with their offense. They're going to test the defense of the Aztecs. This game is moving along pretty quick as we are into the second quarter of football, and looking out onto the stands, there is a huge crowd. This is high school football. It doesn't get much better than this.
I'd say about 9,000 or 10,000 people, Danny, out of a capacity of about 12 here at Veterans Stadium. Just a terrific crowd for this game.
Adolph Keys and Brandon Cherie back deep for the Griffins. Nathan Fisk about ready to kick off for the Aztecs. Keys lets it go by him, and it goes into the end zone for an automatic touchback. Boy, once that ball hit that ground right at his feet, it just exploded away from him.
Exactly right, and once the ball crosses the plane of the end zone in high school football, that is automatically a touchback. It cannot be run back, although Adolph Keys had no chance to run that one back anyway. That one went right through the end zone.
Ball on the 20-yard line. Ryan Hansen bringing out the offense for the Griffins.
Starting on their own 20. This is the first gut check moment in the game for the Griffins.
Hansen looking for, that's Howry, and could not connect with him. He was just a little bit overthrown as Keenan Howery dove for the ball.
He was open. Howery was running alongside the defensive back. All of a sudden, he had this burst of speed, got out ahead by almost a yard and a half to 2 yards, but the ball just slightly overthrown, although Howery was able to just get it into his fingertips, but couldn't hold on. Second down.
I'm constantly amazed at the explosive speed of Keenan Howery. He seems like when he needs to, he has the ability to dig deep and just explode from whoever is around him. Hansen back to pass again, a little shovel into Doby, and Doby did not fool the Aztecs, and he was brought down by Travis Pendleton. So it'll be 3rd down and 9, and right now Los Alamitos having a little bit of a tough time with it.
Travis Pendleton, the defensive tackle, was just waiting there with Josiah Doby, and as soon as Doby got the shuffle pass, he held on and brought him down. Excellent anticipation by Pendleton. Instead of continuing his penetration in, he just sat back there with Doby.
And sat back he did at 6'5", 235 pounds, sizable young man. Godfrey's the man in motion as Ryan Hansen back to pass. Hansen having plenty of time looking for Guinness, unable to connect as the ball falls incomplete at the 30-yard line. Defending on the play is Matt Parrish, so Los Alamitos will be forced to punt. Chris Cluey standing on his own 6-yard line.
And the Griffin offense unable to respond to the Aztec touchdown, couldn't even get a first down, and the Aztecs likely to get extremely good field position after this punt.
Mike Harrison back deep. Harrison being pushed back by Cluey, and Harrison doing a whole bunch of dancing out there and winds up getting maybe a yard, maybe 2. And who brought him down was Nick Fitzgerald of Los Al.
The first Griffin downfield made Schuster juke to the left, juke to the right, cut to the left, cut to the right. By that time, plenty of time for the rest of the punting team to get down. Good special teams job by the Griffins. Very good, in fact.
7-0. Esperanza with the lead over Los Al, and Esperanza now with another opportunity.
43 net yards on that punt, Denny.
Schuster. And Schuster is met short of the 40-yard line. And Trevor Hartley, and we've called Trevor Hartley's name too many times tonight. He's coming in from the defensive backfield to make these tackles.
Exactly right. Offensive line of the Aztecs doing an excellent job so far.
Cluett coming into the game. Coming out is Schuster. Clock continues to work. 9 minutes and 35 seconds left to play in the first half.
Griffins are going to need Bernard Riley and Sagan Atuatasi to do a little pushing back here.
Cluett being able to turn the corner, and Cluett gets enough for a first down. Paul Publico making the tackle.
But Danny, as you pointed out, it's either defensive backs or it's linebackers in the secondary making these tackles. It is not the defensive linemen at the line of scrimmage. They're not getting any penetration so far against the Aztecs, who have moved the ball out again for another first down, and they're only a couple of yards away from Griffin territory.
Wagner bringing his troops out. Offensive line of Esperanza doing a great job, and that is a complete pass to Chris Hall. And Hall is going to be, I believe, just a pimple short of that first down. He's brought down by Adolph Keys.
And good balance pass and run shown by the Aztecs here. Excellent job.
And they're going to call for a measurement. The one thing that's been most impressive, Len, you and I have been doing these games for, what is it, 15 or 16 years now. In fact, probably the most 15 years. Okay, the most memorable one was the one that with J.T. Snow making that last-minute pass to Robbie Katzeroff for Los Alamitos to beat Esperanza for a victory. I think that also won league. But the programs of both these football teams are just exceptional.
Oh, they really are. And we've talked about this rivalry. I'll give you one example. 1991, Los Alamitos in December beat Esperanza 8-0, and that was the CIF Division III final, and that was, I believe, the first championship that Los Alamitos had ever won in terms of CIF. They went on later to tie for a Division II title, and then, in fact, to win a Division II title. Showed what a program they had. They then moved into Division I.
I remember that game specifically. Don Ribeiro, not only did he catch the 6-point pass, he wound up making the reception for the 2-point conversion as they wound up winning 8-0. So far, Wagner 4 of 8 for 49 yards, and Cluett 3 carries for 21 yards, and that's Wagner. The pass is intended for Cluett. It falls incomplete. Depending on the play was Merriweather, and Merriweather did a fine job.
Merriweather right there. Merriweather was very aggressive, and he really gave Cluett a bad time on that play. I think Cluett would have easily caught the ball had it not been for the aggressiveness of Merriweather.
3rd down and just a little bit. Schuster coming back into the football game. Big play for the Aztecs and a bigger play for the defense for Los Al.
Well, I think, considering where they are, this is actually 2-down or 4-down territory. If they don't make it here, they'll go again.
Schuster has the 1st down and much, much more as he gets over the 30-yard line down to the 28-yard line, and Esperanza driving as Keenan Howery making the tackle.
Boy, that offensive line absolutely making it look easy. And Denny, let's call off some of those offensive linemen if you've got it, because they are doing an absolutely sensational job.
Well, it's Ryan Nesselrode, Brandon Lewis, Nate Steinbacher, Mike Rentiera, and George Maris. And some of these guys are sizable. We'll tell you about that in a moment as Schuster takes the handoff. Schuster doing a little bit of juking, just picks up a yard at the very most. So it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Schuster now 11 carries, 108 yards. He's already got 108 with still 8 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter, and of course he's got the 1-yard touchdown.
Bernard Riley on that last tackle. 2nd down and 9. Brian Murray split wide to the left. Aaron Hill wide to the right for the Aztecs. A little bit of movement on that line. Let's figure out who is going to be found guilty. Steinbacher might be the first indication for the Aztecs.
One of the Griffins jumped, tried to get back, and he, I think, is making the claim. No, it was not drawn offside. It's going to be against the Griffins. Well,
no, it's against both, and they're going to nullify that play and just stack them up again.
I'm not sure I quite understand that call.
I don't either.
How that could be offsetting in terms of motion and offside.
It's either one or the other, one side of the ball or the other.
You would think so, unless it was just absolutely
simultaneously at different ends of the offense of the line of scrimmage.
Got to be it.
2nd down and 9. We're going to replay the down. Wagner. It's a complete pass to Asha excuse me. And Asha Brainer is down inside the 15-yard line, and now Esperanza getting real close as they continue to drive.
And Jared Ball, there's going to be a penalty, and this play is going to come back. But I'll tell you, Jared Ball is still trying to figure out how he didn't knock that football down when Wagner threw it. It went zip right past him. But instead, the ball is going to go all the way back from the 15, as you mentioned, all the way back to the 40. So this was a big penalty, and this one hurt the Aztecs.
And it's going to be a hold against the Aztecs, and if you're a Los Alamitos Griffin fan, it's a big sigh of relief as now the Aztecs have 2nd down and 21 yards to go. They have to go all the way down to the 19-yard line of Los Al. Wagner back to pass. Wagner setting up a screen, completes to Schuster. Schuster is just gang tackled at the 35-yard line, led by Paul Publico.
He only made 5 yards on that play. It looked, when it was first set up, like it would be really successful. Schuster had a lot of blockers in front of him, but the Griffins, a terrific job of reacting quickly and getting good pursuit and holding it to only a 5-yard gain.
And the reason for that, Paul Publico stayed at home. He wound up making sure that this play did not develop, and 5 yards when it's a 2nd and 21, now a 3rd and 16. Not a bad play by Publico.
Absolutely right. Let's see if the penalty comes back to hurt Esperanza, as the same kind of penalty hurt the Griffins earlier in the football game.
Wagner back to pass. Wagner. The ball is intercepted. Los Alamitos has intercepted the ball. Trevor Hartley, the name that we've called, the number we've called time and time again, now comes up with the big play.
But he throws this one up for grabs. I think Wagner wishes he could have this one back. He just throws it way high in the air, up for grabs, overthrows the receiver. Hartley kind of playing deep center field there at free safety, easily makes the interception, and boom, he's knocked out of bounds pretty hard, and the Griffins take over.
There was just too much air under that football.
Absolutely right.
So Los Alamitos, 1st down and 10, ball on the 13-yard line. 6 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the first half of football. Los Alamitos down 7-0 to Esperanza. Doby with a big hole. Doby at the 30. Doby at the 35, still on his feet. Doby has over the 50-yard line into Esperanza territory. Josiah Doby.
Well, I'll tell you, there are certain similarities in this football game. The Griffins, we're going to have a chance first to take a look at this great run by Josiah Doby. Oh, what a run by Doby. What great individual effort. First, a huge hole opened by the offensive line. There's a good block. Now it looks like he's brought down. Suddenly, look at this, how he breaks 2-3 tackles, keeps on going. A 41-yard gain. Doby, 10 carries now for 95 yards.
Hanson with a little play action, almost got caught with his hands in his pocket. Winds up throwing the ball intended for Godfrey and falls incomplete.
Danny, incredible parallels in this game. The Griffins had a penalty. It hurt them. As a result, their drive stopped at the 1. And after they got stopped on the 1-yard line, Schuster made a huge run to get the Aztecs out of trouble. What happens in this game? The Aztecs have a big penalty. As a result, they get a drive stopped because they had to throw deep and they had the turnover. What do the Griffins do? They get a 41-yard big run by Josiah Doby. So I'll tell you, interesting parallels in this game so far as the Griffins trying to grab back the momentum.
Doby again into the secondary. All these parallels might be good, Len, except for one thing. It's 7-0 Esperanza.
That's right, but the Griffins are in a drive with 5.5 left to go in the second quarter. They've got 3rd down and a yard to go, Denny, and they are in 4-down territory, so you know they've got 2 plays to try to make this first down.
Aaron Hill making that tackle on Josiah Doby on that last play. 5 minutes and 17 seconds left to play in the first half of football. Ball is on the 37-yard line. So far, Doby has 105 yards, and that's Hanson going straight on through. And that is the first down as he gets all the way to the 30-yard line, and that was not Ryan Hanson. That was the offensive line of Los Alamitos.
And Chad Isaacson was just pushing ahead, and Hanson was following him, and he made an excellent gain. I think Hanson kept waiting to get knocked down once he had the first down, but he kept on going, made an excellent gain.
And believe me, I was not taking anything away from the running ability of Ryan Hanson, but the offensive line, they stood tall and just dug in. First down and 10. Ball on the 30. Hanson, plenty of time, and that is a completion to Keenan Howery.
Oh my, what a catch by Keenan Howery. What a catch by Keenan Howery. He was faced inside. He had to turn all the way around outside to make this catch. Ryan Hanson, straight drop back. Look at that, good block by the defensive back. Throws the ball up on the sideline. Either Howery's going to get it. Look how he turned around. Either Howery was going to get it, or it would be incomplete. A perfect pass by Ryan Hanson. A great catch by Howery by keeping his focus and his concentration. First and goal for the Griffins.
That is Hanson's going straight ahead, and Hanson has the touchdown. So Los Alamitos an extra point away from tying up this football game. And Keenan Howery never ceases to amaze me of his athletic ability as he pulls down the decisive reception. Ryan Hanson just going right behind his offensive line in for the touchdown. Mike Hill getting ready to equalize this football game.
Griffins keeping their composure and their focus here. Mike Hill needs to concentrate and get this extra point. You know that the Aztecs are going to do what they can and come after this thing.
Hanson, the long snapper, Godfrey, the holder. Mike Hill kicks it up, and it is good. Oh, my. It is good.
That hit the goalpost. It hit the goalpost, but it went the right way for the Griffins. And Denny, I was wrong. There was no rush on Hill for the kick. They were looking for possibly a two-pointer. There's Hanson driving through into the end zone for the touchdown. What a great job by the offensive line of the Griffins. We talked about the parallels, Denny. You said they hadn't scored yet.
Now it's
parallel.
Okay, with the score 7-7, we will be right back right after this. Well, it's all tied up, 7-7, 4 minutes and 37 seconds left the first half. Back deep for Esperanza, number 5, Jared Schuster, and number 3, Chris Hall. And Esperanza brings the ball all the way out to the 25-yard line.
Schuster decided to make that catch. That ball might have gone out of bounds, and it'd be at the 35. Instead, Schuster got it, determined to run. Good special teams job there by the Griffins, coming downfield and held the ball at to the 25-yard line.
You know, in the pregame, we were talking about the offenses of both these football teams. And you know something? Only 14 points have been put up so far in almost a full half of football. I must admit, I'm a little surprised.
These teams have really come to play. They are playing extremely hard out there.
Wagner has the ball batted down.
He faced a blitz there, and it looked like Stephon Meriwether, number 32, was the one who got the hand up to bat it down, but he wasn't alone driving in. Wagner in trouble from the minute he had that, as the Griffins were on the blitz, and we have got an absolutely sensational football game here with 4:26 left in the second quarter, and the score tied at 7 right here on Los Alamitos Television, Channel 3.
Second down and 10. Hall is the man in motion, and that's Schuster. Schuster gains 5 yards, getting out to the 30-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 5. Making the tackle is Sagan Tuatasi.
And a little conference. Esperanza's defense talking it over, as you saw there, trying to figure out how to stop that Los Al offense, which really moved the football on that last drive.
Schuster, 12 rushes, 113 yards, and a touchdown, and he's only played not even a full half of football. 3rd down and 5. That's Schuster. Schuster,
oh, what a run.
Great run, and just gets enough for a first down plus a yard. Gary Salgado making the tackle.
What great offensive line work. They just pushed and pushed the defensive line of the Griffins straight back. Great job by Schuster. Grant Wagner getting the play from his coach there over on the sideline. And instead of punting, they made the 5 on a straight gut run up the middle. I mean, that's just really gut check football.
The number 1 team in Orange County against the number 2 team in Orange County. And you know something? The polls are right. These young men out there are playing really equal football. And that's Cluett. Cluett picks up 4. Paul Plubico making the tackle.
What Esperanza's looking for here, I think, is just one big drive. Take the ball downfield, try and get a field goal or a touchdown right at the end of the first half. Clock running now down to 3 minutes and counting.
Cluett so far 4 carries for 25 yards. And Len, they better hurry a little bit because they've kind of had like a ball control drive so far. However, they do have Nathan Fix, who is their field goal kicker, who's got a heck of a leg.
And he can kick him over 50 yards.
Wagner still with the ball with the play action, having plenty of time. Completes it to Cluett. Brought down at the 46-yard line by Brandon Cherie.
And he had so much time, he finally found somebody open underneath and able to get the ball out to about the 46. That's going to stop the clock. I think we're going to see another measurement. Denny, you're right. After this play, it is a first down, and as soon as they get this ball set and the chains move, they're going to start the clock again. And before this next play is off, we're going to get down pretty close to 2 minutes.
So far, Wagner, 6 of 13 for 59 yards. And what I find to be kind of amazing, both these quarterbacks, outstanding young men, outstanding arms, and so far they're not amassing the yards that they are so used to doing in the previous football games. And that's Schuster. Schuster still on his feet. Schuster diving and darting, gets to the 49-yard line. Jared Ball finally brings him down.
Gary Salgado had very good penetration there. Wasn't able to make the tackle, but was able to disrupt the play and held it to only 4 yards.
And I'm a little surprised. The clock continues to run as we have 1:45 left to play. And Esperanza does not seem to be in that much of a hurry.
Well, Danny, first they've got all their timeouts. They've got 50 yards to go. And as I said, they want to end the first half with the football game. They want to end with the ball, either with a score and certainly not give the Los Al.
Schuster still with the ball. Schuster breaking tackle. Schuster breaks away, and he is finally brought down. No, he's still on his feet. No, he is pushed out of bounds at the 11-yard lines, and the clock right now is a moot question as Jared Schuster putting on quite a show as Brandon Cherie finally pushes him out of bounds. Jared Schuster with an exceptional run.
Here it is. Schuster able to, once he got past, he broke a couple of tackles there. Oh, then he makes a couple of good moves, breaks another tackle. Now it looks like he might go. But here comes 26, who just gets him out of bounds, even though Brandon Cherie really fell there. And 39-yard gain there at the 11-yard line with 1:17. And Danny, what'd you say about not enough time?
And Schuster so far 15 carries for 162 yards. And that's Schuster again. Schuster is brought down by a Griffin. That's Trevor Hartley.
Esperanza getting exactly what they want here at the end of the first half. Running the clock right down below a minute. And if they get a score, Los Alamitos will not have time to respond. Obviously, they're already in position where Fix could come in at any time and kick a field goal, but they don't want that now. They want the touchdown.
Schuster out of the game. Cluett coming in to replace him. And that's Cluett. And Cluett is stacked up at the 4-yard line. And there's timeout on the field by Esperanza.
They had all 3 of their timeouts. They've only used 1. They've got 34 seconds left. They can make a first down here, Denny. Very interesting. They can make a first down at the 1-yard line. Got a very interesting play coming up for Esperanza, although if they don't make the first down or touchdown, they certainly can call timeout anyway.
Well, they have, first of all, pretty much of an automatic 3 points in Fix. Not needless to say where they're at, they want to get into pay dirt. And with 34 seconds, there's still plenty of time.
Oh, no question, with 2 timeouts left. Brain Trust talking it over, deciding the play to call.
And let's go to Fritz. Fritz Pollard, come on in.
Guys, Grant Wagner had his coming out party in 1997 when he was only a junior here as the Esperanza Aztecs beat Los Alamitos. He had had just an average pre-league season up to that point. In that game against the Griffins, he was 19 of 29 for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. Needless to say, he took his team to the championship in the Sunset League. He's doing a pretty good job right now, driving for a late second quarter score. Let's go upstairs.
He's doing a real good job, Fritz, an excellent job.
Grant Wagner has never tasted defeat at the hands of the Los Alamitos Griffins.
That's right. That's exactly right. 34 seconds left. Esperanza in the huddle. Schuster, the sole setback. Wagner looking for Aaron Aaron Hill, it falls incomplete. Brandon Cherie defending on the play. 4 seconds go off the clock. It is now 4th down and 3, and you are going to see Nathan Fix coming in for the field goal. It'll be a 22-yard attempt.
This is automatic for Fix. That was a great job by Brandon Cherie. He stepped inside on the slant, able to knock the football down. Griffin's going to, let's see what kind of rush they put on, see if they can disrupt Fix at all here. Timeout, Denny. Timeout.
Now, there was something very strange. I don't understand what just happened there. A couple of the players on the line for the Aztecs pulled off and went into another three-point stance. Len Venger, was this going to be a fake field goal attempt?
It could have been, and there certainly was some confusion out there. Chris Hall, who is normally a wide receiver, he was going to be the holder on the extra point, and he wisely called timeout as the clock was running down. And the Griffins, after the timeout, come right over, and they're talking about it because they're not so sure it's going to be a field goal attempt. It could be a fake.
Well, you know, there's no way that two men on the left side are going to pull back and then put down into a three-point stance again. At least I don't believe that's the way they're going to play the game. However, why would they do that when it's almost like an automatic with this field goal kicker?
Well, maybe they wanted the Griffins to start thinking about a fake and not rush quite as hard, and that'll make it that much easier for Nathan Fix.
Or maybe they were trying to pull off Al offside, and then they wound up doing it to themselves, potentially.
In any event, we're going to see what happens here on 4th down. We shouldn't take anything for granted.
Okay, Nathan Fix again pacing it off. Chris Hall is the holder. We're going to call it the 12-yard line, a 22-yard field goal. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 26 seconds left to play in the first half, Esperanza recaptures the lead 10-7 over Los Alamitos.
Fix does what he does best. He is very, very accurate. Griffins did put on a big rush there, but a good hold and a good kick and a good snap, and it's 10-7 Esperanza with only 26 seconds left. So I don't know. My guess is just a little squib kick and not give the Griffins much of a chance.
I would think so. So far, Ryan Hansen in the 5 previous games has had his way pretty much, amassing a ton of yards, and the number one top-rated quarterback in Orange County. But so far in this game, he's 5 for 9 for 50 yards, and his longest pass is 21 yards so far.
Either the Griffins have a game plan to run the ball, and by the way, they have been successful doing that, or they're just simply facing a really good set of linebackers and defensive backs who just aren't giving up much yardage.
I think that's true on both sides of the ball. Right now you're seeing running games because the D-backs on both defenses are really taking away much of the passing game.
Each team has had 2 scoring opportunities in the game. The Griffins failed on one of theirs. Esperanza successful on both of theirs. As a result, scored 10-7 Esperanza.
Way, way, way deep in the end zone, an automatic touchback as Fix just shows us his leg. 105 yards rushing for Los Al so far in this game. Esperanza, 189 yards.
Fix kicked that ball about
60 yards.
Well, it's about 66, actually.
Oh, into the end zone?
Yeah, about halfway, maybe even a little more than halfway through. That's pretty impressive. That's a Division I leg.
26 seconds left to play in this first half of football. Ball nestled on the 20-yard line. Los Alamitos with 4 wideouts and Josiah Doby in the backfield. What is Hansen going to do? Little quick look in to Ritaco, and Ritaco is spun down at the 26-yard line.
Griffins don't look like they're going to call a timeout, and unless the ball went out of bounds.
There is timeout, Los Al.
Not sure I like that call. Griffins used their second timeout here with only 20 seconds left. Ball at the 26. If it were me, and of course I guess I'm a little conservative here, I'd just take a knee and go in and talk about it. But the Griffins maybe still thinking about doing some damage here with 20 seconds left and 1 timeout still remaining.
Keenan Howry Ryan Godfrey, two exceptional wide receivers, both with a lot of speed. Both have already accomplished large gains for touchdowns so far this year. Maybe Ryan Hansen looking for that, maybe throwing underneath to Rataco, figuring this young man is speedy as well, maybe catching it underneath and grabbing himself a whole bunch of yardage, maybe getting it set up for a Mike Hill field goal. But that's all conjecture. We have 20 seconds left to play, and the Griffins are now coming back on the field.
I think we're going to see Esperanza in a deep prevent defense. People are going to be 20 yards back, it'd be my guess. Let's see. Griffin's going to come to the line of scrimmage. And, well, they're back. The safeties are back a little bit deeper, but I'll tell you, only about 10 to 15 yards.
Josiah Doby into the secondary. Doby breaks loose. Doby is at the 50-yard line, down to the 46. There's 12 seconds left on the clock. Josiah Doby putting on a clinic.
What a hole. Denny, you and I could have gotten through this one. There it is. Well, maybe not. Oh, a great cut there by Doby. Great gain all the way into Aztec territory, but only 12 seconds left.
Well, Doby has 12 carries for 133 yards. Len, you and I could have gotten through that hole, but an awful lot slower.
Well, and 20 years ago.
Well, 12 seconds left to go. Ball on the 41-yard line. What does Coach John Barnes have up his sleeve with 12 seconds?
What he has up his sleeve with one timeout, no timeouts left, he's got to go to the sideline. He wants to get about 15 yards down to about the, well, he's got to get to about the 25-yard line for Hill to have any chance. So he's got to go for about 20-yard gains and get his receiver out of bounds in time. That would leave time for the field goal team to come in. And I'll tell you, I'm pretty impressed with what Los Al decided to do here with only 26 seconds. That's just amazing.
The crowd up on their feet. Hansen back to pass. Offensive line doing a great job. Hansen looking and finding Keenan Howery.
Nope.
It's incomplete. It falls.
Looked like he might have trapped it.
So 6 seconds come off the clock. The offensive line of Los Al gave Ryan Hansen all the time that he needed, just was a little bit short on that pass.
And Esperanza uses their last time out here in the first half. They want to rest their players because they're worried about something deep into the end zone. They're going to go into deep prevent here, and they want to talk about it. That's a very smart timeout by the Aztecs.
If you like football, it doesn't get any better than this. And this is only high school.
This really is a good game. And I'll tell you, as you know, we talked about it with 26 seconds left. How many coaches would have just taken a knee, gone in, and Coach Barnes just having tremendous confidence in his offense, in their ability to pass the ball and run the ball, and he decided to take a shot. And I'll tell you, had that catch been made just a moment ago, and the one that was just trapped, and it was awfully close to a catch, they would have had a shot at a field goal.
It's amazing what has been accomplished in 20 seconds of football. But now we only have 6 seconds left. And you know they're not going to a knee.
No reason to do that now. Look how deep. We got a couple of defensive backs all the way back to the 20-yard line. And with the ball snap, they're even going to go back farther.
Mike Harrison and Aaron Hill back deep. Ryan Hansen back deep to pass. That is Ryan Godfrey. Godfrey is finally brought down at the 12-yard line. He fumbles the ball.
Didn't make any difference.
Doesn't make any difference as we end the first half of football. And what a first half of football with Los Alamitos and Esperanza. Esperanza with the lead 10-7. And let's go down to the field with Fritz Pollard.
Very exciting down here as the first half of play comes to a close. Two comments to make. A lot of people felt before this game that it was going to be very high scoring. Of course, you look at these two potent offenses, and that would be a possibility. Well, at this point, 10-7, not the score these two teams are capable of putting up. The other comment that was made is that the defensive team that came to play tonight would probably win this game. Thus far, both defenses have played fairly well. The Aztecs kept the Griffins out on a 4th and 1, and then in turn, Hartley picks off a Grant Wagner pass, and they go back and score. At the end of the first half of play, the Aztecs of Esperanza on top, 10-7, over the Los Alamitos Griffins. Stay with us. We'll be back with exciting high school football.
It's the ultimate in savings, the ultimate in selection. It's the ultimate clearance sale going on right now at Toyota of Cerritos. Corollas, Camrys, Avalons, and Sienna minivans. RAV4s, 4Runners, Tacomas, and T100. This is hundreds and hundreds of brand new 98 Toyotas, brought in especially for this factory-authorized savings event. 605 Freeway, South Street, in the Cerritos Auto Square.
Welcome an exchange student into your family. Learn about another culture in a fun and exciting way with Youth for Understanding International Exchange.
I'm finding myself wanting to learn more and more about other countries, and it's really interesting.
I love learning new things and studying my cultures.
These students bring something to the school that doesn't come from books. While your exchange student brings their world and customs into your lives, you get to share our great country with them.
I guess I only thought you could love your own, but it's just been a great experience for all of us.
Go global. Call 1-800-TEENAGE for this free booklet. Learn how you can welcome a Youth for Understanding exchange student into your community.
We've learned so much, and very close friends of ours have now decided to host also.
I'd like you to meet my family. We've been through a lot together, inspired by those who came before us, strengthened by those among us, and united by love for our country.
Everyone wants to belong to something great. For thousands of men and women, there is nothing greater than to serve in your nation's Air Force.
So when all families look up, they will see blue skies and starry nights, and they'll never have to be afraid.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The football teams are coming on the field, and we're about ready in a matter of moments to start the second half. Esperanza with a 10-7 lead over the Griffins of Los Alamitos, and it's been an exciting game. And statistically, Len, how do we stand up?
For the Aztecs, who have the 10-7 lead, we've got Wagner, the quarterback, 6 of 14 passing for 59 yards. That's actually under a 10-yard average. But on the other hand, Schuster has 16 rushes for 169 yards in the first half and 1 touchdown. Very impressive. Aaron Hill, 2 catches for 21 yards. On the Griffin side of the football, Hansen, only 7 of 12 for 86 yards, so not a whole lot better than Wagner. Number 2, Doby, 12 rushes, 133 yards, so he's not too far off of Schuster. And Hansen's got 1 yard rushing touchdown. And, of course, Fix had the field goal, which is the difference in the game. Keenan Howery has 3 catches for 42 yards. All in all, Denny, total yards, Los Alamitos 226, the Aztecs 248. Bottom line, a very, very even first half of football.
Those statistics are compiled by Louis Guzman, doing a fine job for us tonight, and the score reflects how tight this football game is, with only a three-point lead by Esperanza. The thing that I find to be so fascinating about this first half of football, the pass has been taken away from both football teams.
We only have 13 completions in the entire first half for, let me figure this out, 144 yards. Combined, both teams. That is very unusual.
And it's nothing unusual for Los Alamitos and Esperanza to wind up having a couple 100 yards in the first half of football as the captains approach the center of the field for the ceremonial coin toss. However, Los Alamitos deferred the kickoff. I believe Esperanza.
Well, Los Al is going to get the kickoff. They'll get the football to start the second half, and the captains they brought out, in fact, were 2 offensive stars, Hanson and Howry.
The captains going back to the LaSalle to the sideline, and Esperanza going behind their banner in their ceremonial, not to mention a little intimidating way they approach the football field.
It's fun to watch.
This is a great crowd. It's a great night for football, close to a sellout. 8,000 or 9,000 fans out at Veterans Stadium in the city of Long Beach. This is a great football stadium, not to mention, Len, it's a press box. We've gone from a table in the stands to a press box that I was afraid if I took a deep breath, the whole press box would disintegrate. This is a nice little venue that we have here.
This is a nice venue, and it is a very real press box, and that makes it a lot of fun. A little chilly out there tonight. You can see a lot of people have jackets on and sweaters. Perfect football weather, actually.
Back deep for Los Alamitos. Adolph Keys and Brandon Cherie. Esperanza with their kickoff team spreading out in their kickoff formation.
We're going to have quite a football game if this second half is anything like the first half of football. And let's see if the teams still stay with their running games as they have, or whether they open it up here a little more in the second half.
Nathan Fix will be kicking off to Los Alamitos. And we're just about ready to get underway. And we are. And boy, does he put a lot of leather into it, out of the football field, beyond the end zone and into no man's land. First down and 10 for the Griffins on the 20-yard line, and it doesn't seem tonight that we're going to be able to return any of Nathan Fick's kickoffs.
Absolutely not. That one went about 73 yards in the air. Amazing.
We're being entertained by, without a doubt, many potential Division I football players as they get into college, as they eventually graduate from their respective high schools. Godfrey on a quick look in. Godfrey breaks the tackle. Godfrey over the 30-yard line, and enough for the first down, brought down by Matt Parrish, and Los Alamitos and Ryan Hanson come out firing with a gain of 11 yards.
Griffins maybe send a quick message here to start the second half that they are going to open it up a little bit and start throwing the football.
Ryan Godfrey went where two other receivers were, kind of flooded the area, wound up being able to go behind the receivers and still pick up the 11-yard gain.
Little pass in the flat that operates much like a screen.
Doby this time gets nothing. As a matter of fact, winds up having a loss. Barrett Woods making the tackle.
Barrett Woods, an inside linebacker, 6'2", 220-pound senior, was hanging on for dear life to Doby. He would not let go. Loss of a couple yards as a result.
Second down and 12. Hanson coming back in from the sidelines with this next play. Wide to the left, Austin Guinness. Howry, Godfrey, and Ritako to the right. Hanson taking time, finding Godfrey. Godfrey makes the reception at the 47-yard line, gets to the 48, and that's a first down for Los Alamitos. Mike Harrison making the hit.
Great job. A lot of time for Ryan Hanson. Look how much time he has. He pumps once. Look at the time. He's got great blocking. Finally lets the ball go all the way across the field. Normally a dangerous pass, but Godfrey wide open. Harrison on the coverage. First down, Griffins.
Well, we were looking for the pass. We didn't see too much of it in the first half, and 2 out of the first 3 offensive plays by the Griffins. Big gains for Los Al. Doby into the secondary. Doby into Esperanza territory over the 35-yard line down to the 34, and that tackle is made by Mastropiallo.
4 plays so far on offense, 2 runs to Doby, 2 passes, and the Griffins on the move inside the 35-yard line.
10 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the third quarter. The opening drive of the second half, Dobie with 14 carries for 149 yards. Little play action fake to Dobie. Hansen still with the ball, looking and finding Keenan Howery. Touchdown, Los Alamitos.
Keenan Howery. He just outfought the defender for the football. That's all there is to it. He can do it all. He's got the speed, he's got the hands, and he's also got the fight and the aggression. He wants the football. He just wanted it more than the defender.
Ball was a little bit late, but Keenan Howery got position on the defender, was able to get up there, and just as you said, Len, make the catch. Mike Harrison was doing the defending on the play, and the crowd at Veterans Stadium up on their feet waiting for Mike Hill with the extra point. The kick is no good. The kick is no good, and I believe that's the first miss for Mike Hill in this 1998 season.
As a result, the Griffins only lead by a field goal. Hansen back to pass. Little play action. That buys him some time. A long pass. Watch how Howery fights for this football right there. He just wants it. Now he pulls it away. The defender had one arm in there the whole time, but Howery held on. Great concentration. Great catch. Great throw.
You know, it's amazing. After just one possession in the second half, all of a sudden, Ryan Hansen's statistics are getting just a little bit more respect of 10 of 15 for 148 yards and a touchdown. Howery, 4 catches, 75 yards, and the touchdown. And Los Alamitos starting on this drive to show a little aerial attack.
You know what's interesting on the 2 extra points by Mike Hill? He got very lucky on the first extra point in the game. Denny had hit the goalpost, but went through and it was good. This one was no good. As a result, the Griffins, instead of leading by 4, lead only by 3. And of course, that's real relevant when you have someone like Nathan Fix who can kick those field goals for the other team.
Cluey. Ball is taken on the 1-yard line. That's Schuster. Schuster breaking loose. Schuster has one man to beat. And he finally is being brought down. Adolph Keys bringing down Jared Schuster. My, oh my, it looks like there might be a face mask on that play.
And another kickoff special teams breakdown by the Los Alamitos Griffins. They have been plagued by that all year long. And the coaches, the special team coaches, not happy there. They were doing a little bit of yelling at some of the players. That was 45 yards on the return. There's Schuster, and now there is the bring down. Do we see a face mask? Yes, there it is. There it is, and the face mask penalty brings the ball down even further. 55 yards actually on the run back, and then add another 15, makes it 70, and in fact he got the ball on the 1-yard line all the way down to the 30. Let's call it 69 altogether with the penalty.
That's a pass intended for Chris Hall. So that's a complete pass to Chris Hall. Ball is on the 24-yard line, 2nd down and 4.
Just like that, the Aztecs are down inside the 25 of the Griffins. They have turned the momentum around on the special teams play and the great kickoff return.
Schuster to the 20, over the 20, still on his feet as he gets down to the 19-yard line, and Esperanza, not to be outdone, answering the Los Alamitos drive, and they're doing it in real quick fashion.
Oh, they really are, and I'll tell you, this is very impressive. The momentum in this game has just shifted from team to team. These are 2 very, very tough football teams. And it is a first down to the 19-yard line. And the Aztecs threatening again to score.
So far, Schuster, 17 carries, 174 yards, and a touchdown.
And that doesn't count as kickoff return.
Schuster is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. However, he drags his tackler for a gain. Let's give him a 1-yard gain as the ball is now on the 18-yard line. Clock continues to run with 8 minutes and 30 seconds. 13-10. Los Alamitos with the lead. 2nd down and 9. There is motion, and there are flags. There's going to be offside against the Griffins. I believe it was Nick Fitzgerald who kind of jumped a little bit, so they're going to mark off a little bit of yardage against the Griffins, put the ball at the, well, let's call it the 13-yard line, 14-yard line. We're right kind of splicing in between.
2 big penalties so far on this possession against Los Alamitos, cost them 20 yards.
Schuster finding the open field, gets down to the 5-yard line, and Esperanza just having an easy time of it, Len.
Their offensive line doing a terrific job again, just pushing back the Griffin defensive line. Big hole there on the left side for Schuster. They took out the defensive end, they took out the linebacker. Schuster right through to the 5-yard line, 1st and goal.
Jared Schuster just becoming very impressive with his run. Has the handoff. He is tackled by Keenan Howry, but he gains a couple of yards, so it'll be 2nd down and goal, ball at the 3.
Howry exploded through to keep Schuster from getting through to the end zone for what at first glance looked like it might be an easy touchdown, but still a good 3-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd down from the 2-yard line. Griffins pinned against their own goal line.
7 minutes, 47 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Schuster dragging defenders with him, and Schuster in for the touchdown for Esperanza. Esperanza answers the touchdown drive by Los Alamitos in fine fashion, and they put up a 6, waiting for Nathan Six to come in for the extra point and make it a 4-point lead.
And if it is a 4-point lead, that looms large, because the field goal by the Los Alamitos Griffins would still leave them short. Schuster now 21 carries, 188 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and we aren't even halfway through the 3rd quarter, and that doesn't even count as big kickoff returns.
The kick is up, and it is good. So with 7 minutes and 43 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter, you're going to Los Alamitos behind 17-13, and there's Schuster just following his massive offensive line, pushing back the defense of Los Al as Schuster goes in for the 6-point score.
And that play, that touchdown set up by the kickoff return with a face mask penalty that added up to 69 yards. Another 5-yard penalty against the Griffins made it 74 yards. That means 74 yards of that drive happened just on penalties or the kickoff or run back. As a result, not very far for the offense to carry that team.
And so far, the offenses now have shown up in the 2nd half. Los Alamitos took around 2 minutes to score. Esperanza took around 2 minutes and 17 seconds to score. So all of a sudden, they're putting the ball control out the window. You're not seeing that much ball control, and they're having themselves a time with it.
Personality of this first half was not much scoring, 10-7. Personality so far in the 2nd half, a lot of scoring.
Brandon Cherie and Adolph Keys back deep for Los Alamitos. Nathan Fix again just buries this football into the end zone, an automatic touchback.
Well, he's losing his leg, Danny. That one only would have gone 70.
Well, fatigue does come into play once in a while. Los Alamitos will have their 2nd possession of the 2nd half, and trying to recapture the momentum. They had it on the first drive. Esperanza unceremoniously took it away from them. Now it's Los Al's chance to recapture it. Doby struggles for a yard, maybe 2. Garrett Webb making the tackle for Esperanza. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 for Los Al. Surely not the opening play of a drive that I would have expected. Rataco man in motion. Hansen finding Austin Guinness in on a slant. Guinness over the 35-yard line to the 37. Making the tackle is Mastro Payalo.
Oh, that was a good pass by Hansen. A very good catch by Guinness into 4 players. A lot of people tend to short arm it there because they know they're going to get hit, but he showed good concentration, reached out, caught the football, showed the concentration, and got a first down for the Griffins.
Doby getting to the 40-yard line. Gutierrez making the tackle.
Griffins again trying to keep the balance, trying to keep running the football so that Esperanza cannot sit back and anticipate the pass. It's a good mixture of plays.
Doby, 16 carries, 155 yards, trying to answer Jared Schuster with his statistics.
Boy, that's a lot of yardage by those 2 running backs. Just amazing.
Hansen looking and finding and nailed the Rataco making the reception, and Matt Parrish just putting the hurt on Blase Rataco.
And they may have been happy about that hit on Rataco, and they did pop him, but I'll tell you, number 1, he held on to the football, and number 2, I think he might have gotten the first down, although it looks like they are going to measure.
And they are going to be bringing out the chains. 5 minutes and 57 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Esperanza, 17. Los Alamitos, 13.
I think he made it. Let's see.
And that is a first down as a result of the 4th straight complete pass by Ryan Hansen.
And again, the Griffins mixing it up. Run and pass, pass and run.
Hansen 12 of 17 for 170 yards and a touchdown. This is the Sunset League game opener for both these football teams. Last night, Fountain Valley beat Huntington Beach. Edison and Marina play tonight. That's a handoff to Doby, and Doby gets over the line of scrimmage, maybe getting a yard. He is met by a slew of Esperanza Aztecs. Dan Ryan, one of them. So it'll be 2nd down and 9.
This drive has been run, pass, run, pass, run, pass, run. We haven't had 2 in a row of anything for the Griffins on this drive. Does that mean pass?
Well, we'll find out. Guinness split wide to the right. And a little end around, and there's Howery. Well, folks, that was a razzle-dazzle that just fizzled. What happened? It was a handoff to the end around. Howery winds up getting the ball on the 2nd handoff, and he winds up throwing it in the direction of Esperanza.
Here's the fake handoff. There's the actual handoff. Now the handoff to Howery, but look at the rush on Howery right there. 94 was on him. That caused him not to make a good throw, and an easy interception by the defender, who then is brought down, and that is the first turnover of the game by the Los Alamitos Griffins. That is 1 turnover per side now, as Howery threw the ball far, but he did throw an interception, and the Aztecs take over.
Aaron Hill making the interception. Schuster getting the handoff. Schuster getting up to the 30-yard line. So that'll be a gain of around 3 yards, make it a 4-yard gain. 2nd down and 6. Paul Publico making the tackle.
Howery there on that play, Denny, because of the rush, one could argue maybe he should try and get away from that rusher first, then make the throw, or then just decide maybe to run the ball. But he threw it into heavy traffic, no Griffin was really around the football, and that was that. Aztecs with the 2nd and 6, and they've got the football.
Wagner finding Hall and is hit a couple of times and nailed for a loss. Bernard Riley puts the last hit and the everlasting one on him at that.
Excellent play by Riley. Lost about 5 yards on that play, and as a result, they're going to have a 3rd and 11 back now to their own 26-yard line. If they can't get that 11, Griffin should get pretty good field position on a punt.
A great inside battle between Bernard Riley and Nate Steinbacher of Esperanza. They're having their own little war out there. And now Wagner is nailed. And that's Mark Batung. Mark Batung responsible for the sack. Good defensive play.
Oh, that was just a big push by the defensive line of the Griffins. Just a huge push. Absolutely no chance for Wagner. He is sacked inside the 20. And the Griffins very happy as they get their first sack of the football game against Grant Wagner, who's really not used to that happening to him.
Bob Sparks, the punter, standing on his own 1-yard line. Esperanza will call a timeout. This is 4th down and 20. The clock is down to 2 minutes and 47 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Len, what is this timeout?
10 men on the field. That's what the timeout is. Here comes the 11th now. And that's exactly why they called the timeout, Denny. They only had 10 out there.
Well, this game being as tight as it is, hopefully that won't bite Esperanza someplace later in this football game.
You're right. That is a very wasted timeout.
So far, Jared Schuster, 22 carries, 192 yards. Wagner, 8 of 16 for 63 yards.
192 yards by Schuster.
Wow.
With 2:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. Wow.
Sparks standing on his 2. Keenan Howery. Keenan Howery, Mr. Excitement, is standing on his own 43, awaiting the punt. It's a punt, a snap that goes over Sparks' head, and that'll be an automatic 2 points for the Griffins.
Well, there's a special play team screw up 2 in a row. First they had 10 men on the field, then they call timeout, then the long snapper puts it right over the head of the punter. It is a safety. It is 2 points for the Griffins, and there will be a kickoff by Esperanza from their own 20-yard line, so the Griffins will get the football again.
17 to 15, Esperanza, their lead now cut in half to only 2, and if you're an Esperanza Aztec, you give yourself a lot of room away from Gary Meek right now. He is not a happy coach.
I'm sure he's saying to his punter, it's one of those things, shake it off. Not to his punter, but to his long snapper.
Adolph Keyes and Brandon Cherie standing on their own 16-yard line, awaiting this kick.
And Nathan Fix is going to kick it, and it should be kind of interesting to see just how far Danny really can kick it.
You know, absolutely right. This young man has shown us one heck of a leg.
He could put this ball all the way back to about the 10-yard line, and in fact, the Griffin returners are now back to the 10-yard line.
He has the leg to do it all. He could make this look like just a normal kickoff for most football, high school football teams.
That's true. Griffins do have to be careful. They do have 5 men up at the 30. Interestingly enough, in case people don't know, you can onside kick it from here, 10 yards, and try to recover the football. It's highly unlikely. But let's see if he can kick the ball 80 yards. Let's see what kind of leg this kid has.
Adolph Keyes fumbles the ball. Brandon Cherie picks it up on the 25-yard line. He's at the 30, still on his feet. gets up to the 34-yard lines, and Los Alamitos just dodged disaster as Adolph Keys was unable to hold on to the kickoff. But because Fix winds up kicking it so far, he had plenty of time to make that pickup.
That's true, although Fix did not kick it like he normally does, but he kicks it so hard that when the ball hits, it's hard to hold on to. And the Griffins have probably field position not as good as they thought they might get, since this ball was kicked from the Aztec 20. They've only got it out at the 34-yard line. I think the Aztecs pretty relieved at this point.
Brian Hansen leading his Griffins out of the huddle. Hansen with the pump fake. And that is a reception. That is a reception.
Is that Howery?
It's got to be Howery. Of course it's Howery. Of course it's Howery.
Oh, what a play. Watch how Rataco comes in right there and he stops. Look at the block Rataco gives so that Hansen has the time. A great pass, long pass. The defender is there once again. Keenan Howery just wants it more.
Clock is running with 2:20 left in the third quarter. Los Alamitos with that play down deep in Aztec territory. Handoff to Dobie, and he is dropped for a loss by Barrett Woods.
That was a 39-yard completion to Howery, which immediately changed the complexion of this drive as the Griffins get the ball all the way to the 28, but on their first down play actually lose about a half a yard. So the Aztec defense comes up big on the first play.
Second down and 11. Hansen back to pass. And there is a wide open Keenan Howery, and Los Alamitos goes in for the go-ahead touchdown. Los Alamitos has a result of two wonderful catches by Keenan Howery, and they come up with a big 6.
Howery, a 28-yard touchdown pass from Hansen, and it was a slant in, and he just had the speed to get away from the defender, made the catch, easily went into the end zone for the touchdown. And here's Mike Hill trying again, and Denny, it's been something tonight.
No, actually,
no, who's in, Denny?
It isn't Mike Hill.
Who's in?
It's going to be Cluey. Cluey's going to be trying the extra point.
Griffins have taken Mike Hill out. He's not going to do it. And Cluey
gets the 1 point. So with 1:42 left, Los Alamitos putting up a 5-point lead, 22-17. And there is Hansen back to pass. And there is Keenan Howery. Oh, yes, he is. And he just kind of glides into that end zone for a quick 6. Hansen so far in this game, 14 of 19, 237 yards. Howery now, 6 catches, 142 yards. So I was questioning Hansen's statistics at the end of the first half. He's surely amassing some yards right now.
He really is now. He and Howery have just gone absolutely crazy here in the third quarter with a 39-yard pass and then a 28-yard pass between them. They just had 67 yards, which is the whole drive, actually.
22-17. Los Alamitos has recaptured the lead from Esperanza.
And I wonder, Denny, if anything's wrong with Mike Hill, whether maybe he's hurt a little bit, or whether they just decided to take him out and let him think about it.
A little squib kick. Schuster trying to get the handle and finally does at the 14-yard line. Schuster's trying to break away. He's over the 30-yard line, down or up to the 35. So Esperanza, with their special team return team, electrifying the crowd.
Well, it's a great job of running by Schuster, especially after he just kept fumbling the ball and unable to get a handle. Then he did, and able to get out to the 35, which is excellent field position. And again, Dennis, the special team breakdown for the Griffins. They cannot seem to pin back an offense.
First down and 10, 1:34 to play in the third quarter. Wagner with a long count for the Aztecs. And that's Schuster, and Schuster gets a couple, three, still on his feet. Schuster, man, that man is hard to bring down.
Well, they just have such trouble bringing him down. He just keeps turning those legs. Griffin's tackling a little bit high, and you just can't do that with Schuster. You got to get him at the knees or below the knees to bring him down.
And Bernard Riley making the tackle of Schuster, and he had his hands full with this young man. Schuster, 5'8", 155 pounds, and I don't believe it. He must have legs that are weigh 155 pounds. They're just loaded with muscle. 2nd down and 6. Little play action. Wagner still with the ball. Wagner is finally brought down, and he is sacked. And the defense of Los Alamitos just getting higher and higher. Schuster, a little play action.
Merriweather, yeah.
And there's Jared Ball in there. Bernard Riley finally putting the finishing touches to him, and Bernard Riley and Jared Ball were getting the sack, so it'll be 3rd down and 12.
Stephon Merriweather got the initial penetration there.
And it's the 3rd sack for the defense for Los Al, and that is a complete pass to Ryan Murray. And Murray, not only does he make the reception, but he loses yardage because the defense of Los Al was there. And with the score 22-17, we will be right back. Okay, and let's go to Fritz Pollard on the field.
Thanks, guys. 2 possessions ago, when Los Alamitos defense came off the field after they had been pushed around, Coach Van Gorder came out and said, we're going to move Bernard Riley and Sagan Atuatasi to the ends and see if we can't pinch down on the runner. They've made that adjustment. I've watched it out here. They're alternating either side, and it's seemingly being effective. Let's go back upstairs for the exciting final quarter of this football game.
Esperanza punted the ball. Keenan Howery received the punt and had a very small return, but there is a flag on the play, and there's going to be a clip against the Griffins.
That's the 4th penalty against the Griffins, and another 15-yarder. What happened there is Howery kept going left and right, and some of the people blocking for him finally gave in and committed the clip, and the Griffins now are going to start with much poorer field position than they had originally thought, with the ball all the way back to their own 22-yard line. Los Al leading 22-17 here as we begin the 4th quarter, Denny, but this game completely up for grabs. Anybody can win this football game.
This is a fabulous football game.
It really is.
Coach Meek, Coach Barnes got to be very proud of their players and the great football game that is being watched by 8,000 or 9,000 people as Godfrey making the reception. But Godfrey, after the reception, he was still in his backfield, winds up being tackled by Matt Parrish, and I believe there'll be a loss on that play.
I agree with you. I think that one looked like it went backwards. There's certainly no gain. And we have a penalty of a face mask against Esperanza. So in making the tackle, even though they had that play well defensed, somebody committed a face mask. Let's see if we can see it here. There's that little pass in the flat, acts like a screen. Godfrey, well, Parrish brought him down. I'm not sure I saw Parrish's hand on the face mask, but the referee did. Certainly he had his hand over the helmet. And that did cost them some, 10 or 15 yards, Denny, 15, and a first down out to the 37-yard line.
11 minutes and 32 seconds left in this football game. Los Alamitos with a 5-point lead. Hansen handing off to Doby. Doby is tackled in his own backfield. Actually, he was tackled at the line of scrimmage and brought back to his his own backfield. So far, Esperanza 3 penalties for 32 yards, and the defense of Esperanza has picked it up a notch.
They really have, at least in terms of stopping the run. They've stopped Doby, but they have not been able to stop that combination of Hansen to Howry, which has been amazingly successful here in the second half. Speaking of penalties, the Griffins have committed only 4 in the game. So through 3 quarters and now into the fourth, we only have 7 penalties in the football game.
Doby 19 carries for 154 yards, but his last 5 carries have only amassed 6 yards as Hansen back to pass, and boy, was that ball batted down by number 99, Ryan Dan. He sure just swatted that football like it was a fly.
Good penetration there by the Aztecs, right into Hansen's face. No chance at all. He was lucky. The ball went very high in the air. Griffin's very lucky that someone from Esperanza didn't get under that for an interception. That would have been a disaster for the Los Alamitos Griffins. Instead, they've got 3rd and about 11 from their own 37.
A resurgent defense of Esperanza blitzing on the last play, and they're coming at Hansen again, and they had another blitz, and they brought him down. Another sack against the Los Alamitos offense. Travis Pendleton making the sack.
They brought 6 people in with the blitz. They still had 5 people back, so it was only 6 blitzers. It was not all out, but able to overwhelm Ryan Hansen. A big loss for the Griffins inside the 30-yard line, and the Griffins will have to punt.
Cluey standing on his own 13-yard line. Mike Harrison from Esperanza standing on his 36. Cluey pushing Harrison back. It takes a loss out of bounds. Cluey wisely gets away from that football, and it is downed on the 14-yard line. So Chris Cluey getting a good roll and a great punt, and Esperanza will have 1st down and 10 with 9 minutes and 48 seconds left to play in this football game.
Well, that really worked out for the Griffins. Cluey kicked a low-line drive. Mike Harrison was too far back to get it, and then it took a very rough first bounce, got by him, and once that happened, he didn't want to take any chances and pick up the football. As a result, very poor field position for the Aztecs all the way back to their own 15. Denny, that was quite a punt in terms of yardage.
Wagner with plenty of time. There is a flag on the play. Merriweather will be cited for pass interference. Chris Hall was the receiver.
Merriweather all over the receiver there. Looked like a pretty good call. He got there too soon. I think it was pretty obvious. It's going to be a 1st down. See if we can see the penalty on the play. Look at all the time that Wagner's got back here. Gets into the pocket nicely, waits. Good throw into traffic. Oh, yeah, no question about it. Stephon Merriweather was pushing him a little early. And I think maybe it's because the ball came in awfully late.
1st down and 10. That's Schuster. Schuster hurdling some lost out defenders. Schuster turning the corner at the 50, at the 40, finally pushed out at the 35-yard line. Jared Schuster, my oh my. Merriweather finally pushed him out, but not before. A huge gain for Esperanza.
Absolutely amazing. Schuster, huge gain after huge gain tonight. He is way over 200, and here's that play. Straight hand up over the left side. Look at him leap in the air and helps him get through one missed tackle, and now he's going down the sideline, and finally Merriweather gets over to make the tackle, and he has got 24 carries for 231 yards. 231 for Schuster.
And the Schuster again trying to get outside, breaks the tackle. Hartley winds up hitting him, as does Doby, but he falls forward to the 31-yard line.
And with the clock running, when this next play occurs, it's going to be under 9 minutes left in the football game. And keep in mind, Esperanza only 5 points behind, so a touchdown and they will take the lead. Schuster again.
Schuster again breaking a tackle, finally brought down, but not before he gets to the 21-yard line. Keenan Howery making the tackle, and Los Alamitos is unable to contain Jared Schuster.
No question about it, and the Los Alamitos Griffins are on the ropes now. Their defense has got to make a stop, otherwise the Aztecs can take the lead. And this game is, Denny, we predicted this game would come down to the wire. I don't think there's a person in the house who didn't think that was going to happen. And you know what? It's going to happen.
Schuster already has amassed 245 yards, gets the ball again. He is hit in the backfield, but slithers away and goes for a short gain. Josiah Doby making the tackle.
Keep in mind the Aztecs are in 4-down territory. There is no reason for them to, they just don't have 3 downs. They've got 4 here, deep in Los Al territory.
8 minutes, 16 seconds left to go. Los Alamitos hanging precariously with a 5-point lead, and Esperanza is driving.
Esperanza desperately wants a touchdown here. They do not want to settle for a field goal attempt because that would still leave them behind. They want the touchdown. They want it badly.
And that's Cluett. Cluett gets down to the 15-yard line. Bernard Riley making the tackle. And the offensive line of Esperanza, they're doing a marvelous job.
3rd and 5. And Schuster, who was out on that last play, coming back into the game. Now he's back out again, Denny. Instead, Chris Hall comes in. Schuster's not in on this play. Cluett is going to be the only setback.
Cluett is 6 carries for 31 yards. Wagner back to pass. Wagner having plenty of time, but no, it collapses on him, and he is brought down by Bernard Riley.
He had 1 receiver short that was covered by Merriweather. He had 2 receivers deep, but the Griffins were there. Great defensive job also by Adolph Keys in the end zone. He couldn't find anyone open. He just took what he could, and it is 4th down, and let's see if Fix is going to try a field goal here.
I don't think that's going to happen. There's timeout on the field. It's going to be timeout for Esperanza. That is their 2nd timeout. They only have 1 left, and we talked about that timeout that they had wasted before. And this game is brought to you by Lou Webb Automotive Group. This is a heck of a football game, and Lou Webb Automotive Group is a heck of an organization. If you need a car, go check them out. They'll be happy to sell you a car. And there is all the fans.
Very excited tonight. Everybody waving, wanting to get their pictures on television. Wow.
I'm just sitting here.
I know. We sigh here and take a breath.
Just take a little bit of a breather. We have 6 minutes and 49 seconds left to play in this football game. We've talked about this game all week, Len, and we anticipated it, and we knew it was going to be a great game, and we kind of said it should go and come right down to whoever had the ball last, and there's no question this game surely has not disappointed anybody, not to mention you and I.
No, this is everything we thought, and the question now is whether they will try the field goal or whether they're going to go for it, and you know the answer because I can see Wagner and Schuster are in. They will go for it, and I don't blame them. I think it's the right call.
4th down and 7. Aaron Hill split wide to the left. Wagner.
The ball was tipped.
The ball was tipped. It was intended for Chris Hall. Bernard Riley. Bernard Riley made that tip.
Riley, 6'3", and he used it here. The receiver was open. Riley hangs back. Now look at him leap up and knocks the ball down with his left hand. Great job of camera work by the LA TV camera people. Good look at Riley knocking the ball down, and the Griffins have held.
22 for the Los Al, 17 for the Aztecs. 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in this football game, and Los Alamitos has got to take care of this football if they're going to win this football game, and that's Doby going straight ahead, and Doby getting almost to the 20-yard line.
And going back to Bernard Riley's play, he didn't only knock it down, he did something else. He pinched in from his defensive end position. He couldn't get in. Then he got into the passing lane. He went backwards and moved over to the passing lane where he could knock the ball down. It was a very smart play, not just a physical play by Bernard Riley.
Very good, Len. That's very good. Clock continues to run with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left to go. Doby, 20 carries, 157 yards. Hanson throws a frozen rope.
Oh, and Guinness held on. I will tell you, that is a terrific play by Guinness. And the Aztecs hit him hard and congratulated themselves on the hard hit. But I'll tell you, they can do that all day and all night. The fact is that Guinness held onto the football. Oh, did he get popped?
He got popped. Great reception, great concentration. He got nailed. And as important, LaSalle has a first down as the clock continues to go. Hanson, 16 of 22, 246 yards.
Wow, did he get up there fast in yardage.
Doby getting to the 30, just pile driving his legs and getting to the 32-yard line. Making the tackle is Barrett Woods. Los Alamitos doing a little time management as the clock continues to run, as we're under 5 minutes, and we're at 5:20 right now. A lot of time left still.
Absolutely, and Esperanza with only one timeout. We'll see if that will come back to haunt them. We've talked about it. The Griffins desperately want a long drive. They do not even need to score, Denny, if they can just move the ball all the way downfield and eat up the clock. That's what they want, and what happens? We have a referee's whistle. Let's see. LaSalle had to call a timeout. I don't know whether it was the clock going down or whether there's an equipment problem. Might have been just the time running down.
I believe it was the time running down, and to save the penalty, Los Alamitos chose to call a timeout as we are under 5 minutes left to play. 22-17 LaSalle. And this game, the first game of league play, and as we had mentioned in the pregame, the winner of this game historically winds up winning the league. And there's a ton at stake in this football game.
The only way the winner of this game doesn't win the league is for a team to come out and beat the winner of this game and then go undefeated. And frankly, that's pretty tough to do.
Two of the premier programs in Orange County, two of the premier programs in California are on this football field and going at it.
And I'll tell you, we're not underestimating Marina and Edison and Huntington Beach and Fountain Valley, but the fact is, I'm not sure you could say that they're in the class of these two teams on the football field here tonight.
Godfrey's the man in motion. Hanson back on a full blitz, and Los Alamitos winds up completing the screen. However, George Maris stayed at home and made that defensive play for Esperanza.
Play also disrupted by another Aztec who leaped high in the air, tried to intercept the ball, might have thrown the timing off just a little, and Maris stayed at home, able to make that tackle, and the Griffins now in 3rd and 6.
And that could very well be a major play for Esperanza. 3rd down and long for Los Al. Hanson back to pass. Hanson going long, looking for Howery, and it falls incomplete, but it was defended by Mike Harrison. Mike.
The ball was in the air just a little bit too long. Harrison did a great job of going up and over Howery and knocking the ball down. It was a clean, excellent defensive play. Hanson back. He steps in the pocket, throws deep. Howery's got a yard, but watch this great job right there with the left arm by Harrison. Might have had his right arm on Howery a little bit. I wouldn't have called a penalty there. Great defensive play by Harrison on Howery.
4 minutes and 13 seconds left to play. Cluey kicking to Harrison off the side of his foot, but it's getting a Los Al bounce. Harrison advisedly gets out of the way. Ball is dead on the 23-yard line, and now with 4 minutes left to play, it's gut check time. The offense of Esperanza, the defense of Los Alamitos. Oh, my.
You know, that kick by Cluey was so bad it was good.
Exactly.
He kicked it off the side of his foot. It's not what he wanted to do. He kicked it short, but he got another great bounce. And as a result, Esperanza, because Harrison did not want to take a chance, again, takes the ball at its own 24-yard line, exactly 4 minutes to go. They need a touchdown. They need 76 yards. This is what we knew would happen.
Let's simplify it. They got to stop this man. They got to stop Jared Schuster if Los Alamitos plans on stopping this particular drive.
And you know what? You can see how hard that is, because just like that, Schuster with 7 yards on first down.
Trevor Hartley making the tackle. 2nd down and 3 yards to go.
And Schuster in yards has got to be up over 250 now. He's at 254, Denny. 26 carries, 254 yards. That is nearly 10 yards a carry. Absolutely amazing.
3 minutes and 23 seconds left in this football game. Wagner calling the signals. And it's a handoff to Cluett.
It's a fumble! It's a fumble!
And Los Alamitos has recovered the fumble. Bernard Riley made the fumble recovery. Oh, my.
That's the second turnover.
Bernard Riley caused the fumble. And there is the jubilant stands at Veterans Stadium. Wagner handing off to Cluett, going straight ahead.
There's the fumble. Who's got it? It's 91.
Jared Ball makes the recovery as Bernard Riley puts the hit on Cluett to shake this ball loose. So with 3 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in this football game, Ryan Hansen and company, their job is to hold on to this football.
Couple of first downs will do it for the Griffins.
Doby bounces off of one tackler, but the Esperanza defense is there. No gain for Los Al. Ben Mastropiallo making the tackle.
Esperanza saving their last time out here. They're not calling it yet. Referee only now just setting the ball down. And the clock has started.
As we're at 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Los Alamitos taking their time.
Esperanza, 1 time out left. Will the Griffins keep the ball on the ground to keep the clock running?
Doby winds up getting maybe a yard. So far, Doby has 23 carries for 159 yards, and Garrett Webb making the tackle.
It's going to be 3rd and 10, and Denny, here's where I'd call the timeout. If I were Esperanza, I would have called it here, because the Griffins are really in a passing down here. And if it had been an incomplete pass after that, this clock wouldn't run. Instead, the clock's going to run all the way below 2 minutes. I would have used the timeout here. The Griffins, though, will probably now keep the ball on the ground and force the use by Esperanza of the last timeout.
In the backfield, Johnson and Doby, and the flag goes up. It is a delay of game against Los Alamitos with 1:44 left to play. And Los Alamitos doing exactly what you said, Len. They're just going to, hold on to that ball and let that clock go down as far as they can make it go down.
Well, now it is an interesting call by the Griffins. They can go 3rd and 15, throw the pass. If they get the first down, having thrown the pass, they'll win the football game. They probably can just about run it out. If they run the ball now, they're unlikely to get 15. Esperanza can stop the clock with their last time out. Let's see what the decision is.
It's a pitch to Doby. Doby drops the ball.
Oh, my. The Griffins have dodged a bullet as they recovered the football. And Esperanza did use the last timeout. And the Griffins will punt the ball. Esperanza with no timeouts left. They have used number 3.
So.
Oh, my. And wouldn't you know, it's 5 points, which means a touchdown by the Aztecs will be the game winner. The Griffins now talking about 4th down. They're talking about, obviously, the blocking that they want to do for Cluey. They want to make sure that he gets this punt away and gets it away quickly. And Esperanza, meanwhile, has got to think, do they want the return? Denny, do they want the return with maybe Schuster back there instead of Harrison? Or are they going to play the rush?
Well, if I was Esperanza, I don't know what the heck I would do right now.
It's Gary Meek, a great coach, who's going to make this decision. And they've got nobody back.
No,
now Harrison going back. But let's see, Denny. He's not going back too far.
Cluey will attempt to kick the ball out of bounds.
They're playing the return, although he's staying away from it.
And Cluey kicks the ball
job.
out of bounds. This is the second time that Chris Cluey has been called upon to kick the ball out of bounds in a very decisive part of a football game, and he's right there to the task as the ball is out of bounds on the 18-yard line. So with 1 minute and 28 seconds left to play, Los Alamitos is putting their defense in there, their prevent defense.
Well, I don't know how much prevent they want to put in here. I mean, they'll give up something short, but I'll tell you, Denny, a minute 28, you can move the ball downfield if you get 10, 15 yards at a crack. I think the Griffins are going to play pretty tough defense here. Let's see.
Wagner back to pass. Wagner is nailed in the backfield by Mark Batung. Big, big play.
And the clock running now at a minute and 11 and 10 and counting. The Aztecs, no timeouts. Shotgun formation.
And Esperanza is a little confused there on the field. Wagner finally gets under the center, and that ball is knocked down by Sagan Atuatasi. The defense of Los Alamitos standing tall.
And about the only good thing that happened to Esperanza on that play is that the clock stopped. I thought they were in the shotgun because I didn't even see Wagner. He was all the way talking still to his players, finally got under the center. Now he's over talking to the coaches. They've got a third, Denny, in about 20. The Griffins asking for the crowd to make some noise.
Adolph Keys, Mark Batung waving at the crowd. They get them behind him. They don't have to do that because the crowd is without question definitely behind the hometown Los Alamitos Griffins as Wagner back to pass. Wagner. Oh! Great defensive play by Jared Ball.
Linebacker Jared Ball, all-out dive, knocked the ball down. What a play by Jared Ball. The Griffins playing inspired defense. This is a good pass by Wagner. A bullet. There it is. And now watch. Right there, full out left arm, Jared Ball.
It's 4th down and 19. 48 seconds left to go.
Denny, Jared Ball gave it up. He gave it absolutely everything to knock that ball down. Oh, this is high school football at its very, very best.
And this is the last play potentially for the Aztecs. Wagner. It falls incomplete. It was intended for Bo Aschenbrenner, and Los Alamitos will take over on downs.
And Los Alamitos will win this football game, and they're going to win it 22-17 because Hansen is just going to take a knee, Denny. That will be the end of it, and the Griffins will be 6-0, and they will be tied for first in the Sunset League. What a football game. The Griffins will have broken the 3-year streak of the Esperanza Aztecs.
So the 20th meeting between these two teams, Los Alamitos, will wind up getting the edge as Hansen does in fact take a knee. So as the clock winds down after 20 games, Los Alamitos with 10 victories, Esperanza with 9 victories, and 1 tie between the both of them.
And here comes the last play of the game. Hansen will take a knee. And that's it.
The Los Alamitos Griffins, the jubilant Los Alamitos Griffins, swarm onto the field as the clock continues to wind down. And the Griffins, a leg up with the Sunset League first victory, 22-17. 22-17 over Esperanza.
Wow.
What a great, great football game. Los Alamitos 6-0. Esperanza now 5-1. And let's go to Fritz Pollard on the field.
It's the ultimate in savings, the ultimate in selection. It's the ultimate clearance sale going on right now at Toyota of Cerritos. Corollas, Camrys, Avalons, and Sienna minivans. RAV4s, 4Runners, Tacomas, and T100. This is hundreds and hundreds of brand new 98 Toyotas, brought in especially for this factory-authorized savings event. 605 Freeway, South Street in the Cerritos Auto Square.
Hi, I'm Susan Egan, and I was lucky enough to play Belle in Disney's Beauty and the Beast on Broadway, as well as provide the voice of Meg in their animated feature, Hercules.
Well, thanks for everything, Herc. It's been a real delight.
Now, I was only able to achieve my goals because I got great training and experience right here in this neighborhood where I grew up. You can too. Happy till I make you happy too. There are awesome studios and schools here in our community. Schools like the West Coast School of the Arts in Cypress, where you can take classes in singing, dancing, acting, and performing, just like I did. Whether you're looking for a lasting career in the arts, or just looking to have a lot of fun and meet some new friends, talk to your parents today about joining classes at the West Coast School of the Arts or any other local studio. Good luck to you.
Down here with victorious Coach Barnes. Coach, great game to have behind you. You were actually living it there on the sidelines there in the first half.
Yeah, that was a tough game. It was a great football game. It was great for our kids to win a tough game. I think for the last year or so, maybe we've lost a little confidence in some of the bigger games, and this is the one we needed to get us over the hump. And so, it was a great game. We fought hard in the fourth quarter. We played great defense when we needed to. Second half, we came out and moved the ball well. We did things that we needed to do. I'm real proud of them. It's a great rivalry, isn't it? Yeah. Just a great rivalry. I can't imagine if people just wouldn't be here by the droves watching this game.
Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, it was discussed before the game even started that the defense that stepped up would probably walk away with the victory. You had Hartley's pick, and then you had Ball's recovery of the fumble.
Yeah, and we had a couple major stops. We got a stop down there on fourth down. We had a hold down here, made them punt. So, yeah, we stepped up on defense the whole second half, really.
And Ryan Hansen continuing to mature and develop.
Oh, you know what? He's just been a great player. He made so many audible reads tonight, and so many throws on the backside. And then so many great throws. He's beautiful.
Coach, right before we came on, you were over talking to number 5, the running back Schuster. What were you talking to him about?
I told him he was the toughest young man we'd ever faced. And I mean, pound for pound, I can't imagine a tougher guy. He played great. He deserved the accolades.
Coach, congratulations. Number 1 game behind you here in the Sunset League, and it's time to get ready for next week.
Now it just gets tough every week.
Yep. Good luck.
I wish this was the last game of the season.
Good luck. Take care. Well, that's going to wrap things up down here field side. The Los Alamitos Griffins break the 3-0 streak of the Aztecs from Esperanza. They win it 22-17. For Denny Siegel, Len Venger, my name is Fritz Pollard. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you right back here next week. Good night, everybody.